Started. So again, good afternoon. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time for this wonderful experience. My name is Mary O'Regan and I am the Director of Sales here at Katie Daly's Ireland. Today we have the great privilege of a live cookery demonstration performed by Tracey Jeffrey of Tracey's Farmhouse Kitchen in Northern Ireland. And she'll be making what sounds like a delicious dish to add to your Thanksgiving menu for next week. This is a unique and a personal opportunity. Tracey recently did a segment with Lauren Scala of NBC's TV show First Look. Keep an eye out for that. I believe it's going to be airing actually this Saturday. So she will be showcasing exactly what she does in her kitchen, the cooking options she offers for groups and individuals. So definitely a very exciting thing to be on the lookout for. So you have a firsthand inside view into her kitchen here today. First, allow me to introduce our company owner, Katie Daly. She would like to have the opportunity to welcome you all. Katie?
Thank you, Mary, and thank you, everyone. My name is Katie Daly, and I am the owner of Katie Daly's Ireland. I just want to say a very brief thank you to everybody for joining us here today. Thank you for your time and thank you for your support. This is our second webinar for the fall. We do have some more, so please, over the next coming months, so please make sure and sign up. And just a very, very big thank you to Tracey. We're just so happy that Tracey, you've taken the time to join us today and show us your wonderful kitchen all the way in Northern Ireland. So without further ado, I'll hand you back to Mary, and thank you everybody again for your time and your support. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Katie. So now we'll travel across the pond to Tracey's 17th century farmhouse kitchen. It's located on the shores of Strangford Lough in County Down. Tracey's Farmhouse Kitchen is a proud Embrace the Giant Spirit approved experience and ambassador. That is the tourism brand of Northern Ireland. The farmhouse is located just 30 minutes east of Belfast City, so it's definitely a great inclusion for clients spending time in Northern Ireland. She offers group tours, private tours, individual experiences, and corporate workshops where guests are invited to roll up their sleeves and get stuck in to make some local Northern Irish breads, including soda bread, wheaten, and potato breads. All of the clients that we have booked with Tracey's always remark how great of an experience this is, so you'll certainly see that here today. I'm just going to show you exactly where the property is located for those of you that might not be familiar. It's right here, just as I mentioned, just east of Belfast. So on the stunning, rugged landscape of Eastern Ireland. And I just want to do a quick video share of, of the property so everybody can take a look. Lovely, we can see you great. Hi, Tracey, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary, and thank you, Katie. And I'm absolutely delighted to be asked and to have the opportunity to meet with you and to invite you into my home this evening. So thank you very much for that. This is where I live with my two teenage boys, so you can immediately feel sorry for me. My two teenage boys and my husband, and we live on a small holding. So we have 4 dogs and some cows and a few sheep and lots of hens, and we really live as sustainably as we can from the land here. So we try to just, as much as possible, eat from our vegetables and fields around us, where we have a very rich, bountiful supply of fantastic produce, really. As Mary said, I live just 30 minutes south of Belfast. So if you were coming from Dublin, you would come to me on the way to Belfast, or if you were heading back, I could be the last stop. And I am literally touching the shores of Strangford Lough, And Strangford Lough is a body of water which is the largest inlet of water in the British Isles. It has over 300 little drumlins, and drumlins are like tiny little, if you like, mounds, if you like, or hills, dotted in the water. So it's also a nature reserve and an area of outstanding natural beauty. And I must say, when visitors come here, guests come to my home, they will always remark upon the coastline on their way here. It's absolutely breathtaking. So I am showing you today a recipe which is very much of the season, and it's potato apple bread. Breads are something that we all have a love affair with, and the breads that we make here in Northern Ireland are particularly simple. In fact, we call them quick breads, because the likes of our soda bread has just 2 ingredients, three. Buttermilk, plain flour, and a little bit of bicarb or soda, and you've got the most delicious bread, and they're made on a griddle. So literally from start to finish in 15 minutes, they're ready to eat. So no yeast involved, no weighing of any ingredients. It's a handful of this and a glug of that, and it's very much made in the traditional way. So back to potato apple. So this year we have tons of apples still falling from the trees here down in the orchard. And obviously, you know how much we love our spuds in Northern Ireland, or Ireland as a whole. So this particular bread is something that would be considered a sweet treat. And it very much was all about using the produce and using the glut of apples in the simplest way possible. So to make the potato bread, you're looking at about 3 ingredients: my apples, my potatoes, and a little bit of flour. And the flour that I am using is just plain all-purpose flour. Okay. So the apples, I have just peeled and cored them and cut them up quite finely. And I have just softened them in a little bit of sugar, just ordinary sugar, and a little bit of butter. And I want them to kind of keep their shape as best I can. So those are my apples, and I've let them cool. In terms of the potatoes, I have peeled and steamed, or you could boil your potatoes. The best potatoes for our potato bread would be yours would be a russet potato, ours would be a Maris Piper. So it would be a dry, floury potato. And so I have here's my lump of spuds, or my lump of potatoes, which I have cooked in the saucepan, peeled them, cored them, and I'm going to use that lump of potatoes to make our potato apple. The last ingredient is some flour. And in terms of the quantities, as I say, we don't weigh anything or measure anything. I am using about slightly more than, say, 1/3 flour to 2/3 potato. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to integrate, or if you like, add the flour to my potato. So the potato is just basically potato that has been steamed or boiled. I haven't put salt on it, no sugar, no pepper, no butter, nothing. Okay, just ordinary potato. And what I want to do is just mix all of the flour. And if I feel that I have enough flour, it's no longer sticky, and the flour is well worked into the potatoes, then I'm happy. Okay, so I'm just going to work it in a little bit more. And I'm going to just show you now. I feel that that's good enough. I can tap it and it's not sticky. Okay, and the flour is well worked into the potato. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more flour on my table, because this can get quite sticky, right? So you put your potato mixture, your potato dough down, and use your rolling pin to just gently kind of move it around and get a round, if you like. And to be honest, sometimes I don't even use a rolling pin. Sometimes I just use the heel of my hand to flatten it out. So I want it about 1 inch thick in depth, okay? And once I've done that with my potato, I am then just going to take my apple and I'm going to put my apple mixture in the middle of this potato dough, okay? And I'm going to be reasonably generous with it, okay? And then I'm just going to take 1/2 of the dough and roll it over. And at that stage, then just literally press down the sides. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. Almost as if you were making like a calzone pizza nearly, okay? So I'm going to push that flour out of the way just to let you see. So that is my potato apple pocket, if you like. And I'm going to just lift this and set it onto my griddle. Now, I'm just going to make sure that the sides are sealed. I'm hoping you can see this okay. And I've put this onto the griddle at quite a high heat. So the griddle goes as high as 5 and I have it sitting at 4.5. The other thing I should say is that if you do make this at home, you do not need to have a griddle. You can actually do it in a good, in a frying pan, or if you have a cast iron plate, use that. Or even if you have a wood burning stove, that's perfect as well. So you just need anything that gives you a good form of heat, okay? So what I do is I put my potato apple onto the griddle and I leave it for about 3 or 4 minutes and let it go brown on that side. And then I do the same on the other side, okay? The important thing here to think about is that your apple is already cooked and so are your potatoes. So it's not like soda bread where if you don't cook it through, it will be raw in the middle. This is already a cooked ingredients before you start. I would find that a lot of my American guests would actually make this potato apple treat at Thanksgiving. It's absolutely perfect for Thanksgiving. You could add, if you wished, cranberries to the mixture. You could add nuts to it. If you wanted to be really indulgent, you could add little cubes of chocolate or even grate some chocolate into it. It's actually a really tasty, delicious treat. And if you do like a little bit of sweetness, don't forget there's already some sugar in your apples, but you could, if you wanted to, sprinkle some sugar on top. But this is something that we would have had typically at this time of year. And I suppose it was my mother's way of getting some nutrition into us because, you know, potatoes are so good for you and apples are so good for you. So we're just giving that another minute or two. Just to briefly explain whilst that's cooking away there. For Kitty, I offer experiences really focusing around seasonal, local Northern Irish cuisine. So it might be that guests are coming to help me prepare lunch and we go down to the garden and we pick our own vegetables and herbs and fruit and so on. And then we bring it back up into the kitchen and we prepare lunch together. Or it may be that you're coming along just to have lunch here. Everything will be homemade and it will always reflect the season and the time of year. So that's just one of the things we do. Obviously, our soda bread making, our brown bread or wheaten bread as we call it, and potato bread is something that I do every day. So that probably will always form part of the experience. But it's all very much a relaxed experience. You're coming into my home, you're meeting my family, and it's just meant to be very, very laid back and easy, really. So, okay, so I'm going to check the other side of this just to see, because I have a feeling that it feels like it could be ready. Okay. And in fact, if I just show you this, that is a beautiful golden brown color. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but when I tap it, it's kind of a hollow sound of it. And it's just a golden brown color on that side. And I'm just now wanting to do the same on the other side. If anything, I've made that quite big. Probably that would be enough really for 2 people, I would say. But yeah, so I'm keen to just give it a minute, and when it comes off the griddle, to cut it open and just let you see what it looks like inside. Mary, any questions? Is there anything that I have missed out or not touched on? Or
No, that's amazing, Tracey. I'm just actually thinking here to myself, I'm going, it's probably the one thing I always have, like, as you know, an Irish person, I think you always have potatoes, and then this time of year there's apples. So I'm going, how easy this looks, and it's amazing. And again, like, very little ingredients, like, doesn't seem to take a lot of time. So I think that's just a lovely, like, insight into what you can do there, probably from something so simple to, as you mentioned, like, more elaborate, doing a whole lunch meal, which you've done for private tours, like for 2 people. For us, you know, like, you have groups in there all the time as well. So if anybody does have any questions, now would be a great time just to pop them into the chat box, please. One question was, are you offering experiences all year round, or is it more of like a peak seasonal thing?
So it's all year round, Mary. To be honest, I'm lucky in that I'm not weather dependent. So in the middle of winter, the fire is lit, it's warm and cozy. You know, we'll have a bowl of some homemade soup or whatever. So in answer to that question, okay, obviously Christmas Day and New Year's Day, no, but it's all year round.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing, because it's just like that, you know, probably in, like, say, November, December, when the days are a bit shorter and people, you know, are kind of wondering what maybe clients would be doing in Ireland. Like, this is such a real experience. Like you said, you've, you know, some cows outside your door, you know, they're really getting stuck in, and you know, making bread. I mean, the kitchen is so traditional. Like, the property is 17th century. Like, it's just really amazing.
Yeah, and that's it, Mary. And you know, it's the one thing I do say when guests arrive, and I always have to, is that it's very lived in, you know. So you can just imagine with a couple of boys, and you know, it just is. My mother despaired at times, you know, but yes, it's just very relaxed. Yeah.
And Tracey, just so we're just, there's another question just here. What is, like, say, the max number of people that you could cater for? I know you've done experiences for us where it's just been maybe 2 or 4 or 6 people, but like, how big of a group would you be able to do something with?
Okay, so the largest group that I have had has been 45. Now that sounds like a lot, but in fact, because I live in, if you like, converted stables, this is quite a big space. And then during COVID, we took the opportunity to build really beautiful garden room onto the side of the house, and it opens out into the garden, and then we have an outdoor kitchen there as well. So for that number, for 45, everybody wouldn't be making their own soda bread, but it would be more the likes of, say, having lunch and having a demonstration.
Lovely.
Mary, I just want to add that that Tracey did a lovely video for us, for those of you that actually want to see the house, where she's outside and coming into the kitchen, and beautiful dogs and that's on our own Katie Daly's Ireland Facebook page, and it just gives you a lovely view of the area, because it's, you know, it's really just about the area and the experience, Tracey, as well as the cooking. But you know, just even for people that want to go for a walk in the gardens and pick whatever, you know, fruit and veg are in season, you know, it's just really about the area too.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And the one thing I can say to guests is, you will not see another coach on the roads here, because we're not as we're definitely the road less traveled. I know it might sound kind of very boring to say that, but we're not as discovered. We have lots of amazing experiences in this locality. So if you did come to County Down, you could spend a week here, no problem at all, and have a very full itinerary. And we have the Culloden Hotel and the Sleep Donard here as well. And we're half an hour from Belfast, but it's definitely a very different landscape from the North Coast, and very beautiful. Yeah.
Very
so I think
nice.
this is ready. So I'm going to just,
Okay.
if I can just take this off, if that's okay, and just,
Yeah.
So we're ready to actually cut it, and I'm just going to cut it, Mary, and just let you see. So there it is. Can you see that okay?
We can. It looks delicious.
Okay, so that is just, yeah, that's it. It's really, it is honestly delicious. You might think it's a kind of an odd combination, but it is actually very tasty, you know. So I'll send you the recipe, and I would love to see you try it. As you say, Mary, you've got the ingredients, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And we have somebody here asking for the recipe. So there will be a follow-up email with this recording. We will include the recipe details. We'll include a link to the Facebook video that Katie mentioned there. Tracey, thank you so much. This has been fabulous. I think
Thank you.
I think loads of people will be adding it to their menu for Thanksgiving here next week. If you do happen to make it, please tag us on your social media, Katie Daly's Ireland and Tracey's Farmhouse Kitchen. Please keep an eye out. We do have 3 more webinars left in our fall series before we'll be kicking off our spring series. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for joining us today, and a massive thank you to Tracey across the pond for this lovely, lovely demonstration.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Mary and Katie, and good to see you. And thank you, everybody.
Great.